Yep. Okay. Well, today we have Drip Coach with us, who is launching a new project on Jumpstart. He's going to run us through how it all works, the NFTs, what it's all about, and yeah. So, if you just want to give us a quick introduction about yourself, about the project, and then we can get into the meat and bones of this.
Sure thing. So yeah, a little bit about me. Let's see, been in the crypto space in and out since around like 2012. Prior military background, martial arts instructor, personal trainer, fitness, health coach, built a gym. Live currently out here as a nomad in Cambodia, and got heavy into crypto during DeFi summer, I guess you could say. And then that landed me into all of the rug pulls and all the fun that comes along with that. And then eventually found myself a home in the Drip network, and that's where the Drip Coach moniker comes from. Spent the last year and some change basically focusing only on the Forex Shark ecosystem and trying to educate people on that space and everything that he's building over there. And from that kind of led to the introduction of people within the community creating additional utility for the Drip ecosystem and the Drip network token itself. And that's where the Change 360 kind of came into play. So before I dive into that, I'll just hand it back and see if you had any questions on that side.
Long live Drip.
I don't think it's going to end.
Not if the community has anything to do with it, and that definitely seems to be the case. It seems like we've gotten our hands on it and are going to be taking it by force to push it to where I guess we feel like it should be belong. So that's a great segue into my project. So kind of alluded to, I have a health and fitness background, martial arts, military, all this stuff. And the Change 360 platform. So Change is actually an acronym for continual health, accountability, nutrition, guidance, expert. And then the 360 just kind of tacked on there because it's, never ending basically. So our project is a platform that basically brings together AI, blockchain, health and fitness to create a seamless and personalized experience for clients. We aim to solve the problem of a lack of accessibility and affordability in the health and fitness industry by leveraging technology to make it easier for everyone to achieve their wellness goals. And we do this with a business model in a real life application and a real revenue stream that will be used to pay dividends as the platform grows, thereby allowing us to actually transform wellness into wealth without the typical degen Ponzi-nomics that we're used to.
Wow. Nice. Thank you for that introduction. And then I've prepared a few questions. Should we just get straight into these questions? Should we, and get to know the project, get to know it a bit more in and out?
Yeah, sure. Works for me.
Yeah, man. Okay, well, just can you tell us a bit more about the project and the problems that you're trying to solve?
Yeah, so that's kind of what I just alluded to. So in a nutshell, basically the problems that we're looking at solving is the lack of access to affordable health and fitness, as well as the complexity that surrounds it. So ironically, if you look at the stats, 40% of the population is expected to basically eat themselves to death and be obese by 2025. Then 60% of the population, so the other half, is actually impoverished and barely makes $10 a day. So it's some kind of weird dichotomy that we have both these problems that are related to essentially health and fitness, and people are living on one or two of the extremes. So trying to find a middle ground to get people the proper information without the oversight that complicates it just to make money from the traditional businesses and spaces, and then allow that model to essentially pay itself back to the people that are utilizing it and make it super cheap due to the integration of AI and crypto.
Wow, that's a good idea. I think you've slightly answered the next question that I had set up for you, but what I was going to ask was how did you come up with the idea for the project? But is that kind of what you just saw out and about in the industry that you're involved with?
Yeah, to a degree. So realized basically that the traditional model of health and fitness wasn't serving everyone equally. And then there was a gap in the market for a platform that could provide personalized solutions at scale. So I'm a personal trainer, like I mentioned, a martial arts instructor as well. So I've done this for a number of years, did it a little bit in the military. And then the one piece of it that doesn't scale is your time, right? So you can only train so many clients at a time. And then the typical model goes to an online training model where you essentially water down your training services and sell it super cheap so you can reach more people, but it's not tailored and personalized to each person. And that leaves gaps for people to actually get results. It's great for scaling your business, but essentially you're just kind of half doing it for each person. So by leveraging the power of AI and blockchain, we essentially can democratize access to wellness and create a more equitable future. And like I mentioned before, living abroad here in Cambodia allowed me to experience life in developing countries, and that showed me firsthand the struggles that other people were dealing with. So we have a food and wellness epidemic, like I mentioned, where 40% are going to eat themselves to death and 60% are essentially malnourished and can't afford the right food. So by building a model that allows us to essentially allow the people that have the money to invest in their wellness, and not just wellness from the nutrition side, but with this we also integrate the mental, the spiritual, the financial, all the areas of wellness, especially with the partnership that I'll probably talk about later. So we attack it from that 360-degree angle, and then if you are able to do that, then those people essentially become better functioning members of society. And if the platform has significant what'd you call that, not markup, but overhead, essentially, like because you're leveraging AI and technology, you can use the proceeds to actually bring up the lagging percent of the population that makes up the bulk of the population in totality of numbers, but lagging in regards to market cap. And if you bring them into the fray, you have just now increased the size of the pie versus fighting for the same slice as everybody else.
100%. Wow. Yeah, mate, that's a lot of information taken at once. But yeah, that sounds great, man. But yeah, so regards to the actual project itself, like, how are you mapping this out? How are you mapping the project out? What are the milestones that you want to hit and achieve in the near future for this? Yeah, so what are you going to start with to get this project up and running and going?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, there's a huge
because there's a lot
we want to move into.
there is a lot to focus on there.
Right. So I ideally, and what I focused on and mapped out for the team is what we call, like in marketing, an MVP, so a minimal viable product. So the first thing we will actually be launching that we already have pretty much in beta testing within the team is one, the crowdfunding side from Sidekick Finance, but two, the actual application that you'll be able to interact with within the next 60 days from now will be essentially a customized nutrition and meal plan that will include a grocery list, recipes, and even fast food recommendations based off of your personal needs and goals. So this is something that you could right now go into ChatGPT, which is the top tier kind of AI assistant right now. And if you had the proper way to phrase your questions, you could get this answered. Problem is, most people don't know how to ask questions. So we're removing that friction and then kind of training the model to give exactly what you need to move forward. So you'll fill out a couple of questions based on, your demographics, height, weight, age, the same thing I as a coach would ask you essentially. And then it will spit out your calories, macros, a recipe plan, number of meals, everything you tell it you need, and it'll actually spit it out for you and give it to you within a couple seconds. So that's our MVP that we can kick out, could run right now, but it's not finalized in regards to the UI and whatnot. But from the back end, it actually is already working. So that's the first step. And then from there, we plan on adding a couple of other services. So upgrade that to like a 3-day meal plan, add some fitness coaching information, get some actual accountability coaching. So say you've been running the plan now for 3 to 5 days, you come back to the platform and you'll be able to answer some additional questions again, like I would as a coach, ask you, how have things been going? What's been hard? What's been easy? What do you want changed? And then it'll kind of massage things for you and give you a new plan, as well as maybe some habit coaching stuff or things to focus on regarding other aspects of your life, like sleep or maybe some relaxation techniques or whatever might be causing stress. So those are the short-term milestones that literally be out within the next 60 to 90 days whenever the platform launches, or pretty much immediately upon launch.
That's actually really interesting because I used to be a chef a while ago. So this could be really good for people that have like Crohn's disease or have wheat intolerances, and it could actually help you with the meal plans.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. So you nailed it, because not everybody is identical, and we're all different and have different needs. And those people like that with these diseases or intolerances are pretty much left out of the traditional model. So they have to take whatever's kind of cookie cutter made for them and then decide how to integrate that into their specific needs. Whereas if you have AI creating this, you can tell it exactly what you want. It's like, I want to have a sandwich every day with salmon, and it will actually create a meal plan that makes sure you have that every single day. So
okay.
It can get really granular.
So does it take in? So would it take in what you need? So say if you had a workout routine, and you knew you was going to burn off a certain amount of calories, would it take in what you would be allergic to and what your body would need nutrition wise, and then still create the meals based on your nutrition that you need for your workout and what you're allergic to at the same time then?
Yeah, exactly. So in the questionnaire you fill out, again, same thing I would give a client. It's going to ask you what your current exercise level is, how much you are currently active, if you're sedentary throughout the day, or you work as a professional moving person for a moving company or whatever, construction worker. So it'll determine kind of what your expended calories would be. And then you tell it what your goals are, like if you want to build muscle, lose fat, whatever the case may be. And you also tell it what your nutritional profile is: 5 to 6 meals a day, 3 meals a day, 2 meals once, gluten intolerance, allergic to shellfish, whatever. And it takes all of that data and then kicks out a meal plan specific to that. The future roadmap, kind of tying to the question you mentioned already, would tie in with actual fitness trackers to get that real-time feedback regarding calories and heart rate and stuff like that.
Oh, nice. So I suppose you could also, if you feel like the plan isn't accurate at the time for your needs, you could go back to it, just alter it a little bit, and then see how it works out as well. But
exactly, that's actually a great point you brought up. So that's another thing we're doing, I think, that's not really welcome in the space. So if you're familiar with AI, you'll understand that the way AI is created is by basically making a bunch of mistakes, and it learns from those mistakes so that it can improve. So AI doesn't actually have a sense of failure. All it knows is, oh, that didn't work, don't do that again, let's try something else. So what you just mentioned regarding if someone gives us feedback and says, hey, this plan isn't any good, we actually need that. We want to capture that. And the more of that we get, the better the actual AI recommendations come. So we'll actually be incentivizing people to give us feedback, versus the current space, which tries to hide all the flaws so that people don't see there's issues, and they, the project is bullish. It's like, no, we actually want the flaws. We want them transparent. We want everybody to report them, because that actually enables us to make the platform better.
Yeah, just get it learning quicker.
Exactly.
Oh, nice. Well, I think you've already touched on this subject a little bit about your experience in the background. But have you got any other team members involved in the project?
Yeah, 100%. So this is definitely not a one-man show, but the idea came from me, and then I reached out to in the drip community basically and found 3 additional team members. So 2 of them are our back-end devs, and 1 is the front-end dev. And combined, the back-end devs have about 3 decades worth of experience in development and coding and things of that nature, and I think a couple years specifically on Solidity and contract integration. And then the front end dev is our graphics design and UI, and he's done some work in the drip community already, specifically in the reservoir. So all of them are kind of long-term OG drippers, not from day one, but been around long enough to where they decided they want to take matters into their own hand and build utility for the drip network as well.
Oh, wow. And is there anywhere that they can go and find information on your team? Is there a website they can go to?
It's not live yet. So if you go to the website, which is change360.app, you'll just see a coming soon. But we will have an about page there. Myself, I'm fully doxed because, like I said, I'm a personal trainer, so you can look up my certification, stuff like that. Even on my
Yep.
YouTube channel, my face and stuff is there. The other three are partially doxed. So internally, we have full docs, identification, all that stuff. But I don't know if they plan on going full docs or not. We haven't gotten to that part yet in regards to launching contracts and discussing what they want to do with it, but we'll definitely have some information on the about page about them when we launch this, for sure.
Okay, yeah, because that's well, like you said earlier in the conversation about rugs and stuff like that, but when obviously that's not the case here. But it's just people like to see all the information everywhere and to be able to have access to everything they want. So that's
exactly,
good.
Exactly.
That's good. This next question, I'm going to kind of change it a little bit, but rather than say what differentiates you from other projects, I'm going to say, have you seen any other projects like this on the market, or have you seen certain aspects of your project that are in others which gave you this idea, or is it just 100% this is the only project you know about like this?
It's hard to say. So there's definitely bits and pieces, so the AI aspect is relatively new enough to where there's not that many people integrating it, but you can do a search for AI health and fitness and you'll find there are AI trainers. There was one that had a mirror that you could actually see an AI version of a human, and it
I remember
record your movements and stuff. Yeah, so there's all these things that have been out there. And I have seen some recent push for kind of websites that are using traditional fiat, where you just put in similar information like we're talking about, and it kicks out maybe a meal plan. I think I saw one that said it would give you Gordon Ramsay created meal plan, basically. So it's using similar data and trying to gamify it a bit. But the integrations in totality with crypto, I definitely haven't seen. And then the specific piece that we'll have launched with the NFT, provided we get 50% funding, this does not exist. So this is kind of some alpha for this Twitter space. There's a company called TaskHuman that I've been working with for about 2.5 years. They are the first, and as far as I'm aware, the only live one-on-one holistic wellness training platform. So what I mean by that is they get coaches from thousands of areas of wellness. So if you want to get training in yoga or Pilates or spiritual wellness, Buddhism, even how to train your dog, financial wellness, it doesn't matter. They find coaches in these areas and they go through an extensive interview process, 4 different interviews over the course of 2 weeks to identify the skills. And then once they're there on the platform, they pretty much create kind of like a LinkedIn web page, if you will. And then users can browse that platform and get immediate 24/7 live coaching from any of these coaches. Now, what makes this unique is that they typically only partner with business to business. So they're integrated into the employee wellness programs of Cisco and Juniper, a lot of the tech companies. And I've been working with them on their hiring side, doing the interviews for the past 2 years. And I pitched this idea to them regarding crypto and essentially building a company to do the exact same thing that they allow companies to do. And that is an exclusive thing that would definitely differentiate us from the market. So we would be blending the AI side, where it's giving you recommendations on what to do. And then you'd be able to take that and go straight over to TaskHuman with the NFT and get immediate live one-on-one coaching from a real person, not an AI, an actual real person with real skill sets and utility, and talk to them anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all across the globe, even in multiple languages.
Mate, that is a massive perk. That is, yeah, I mean, you don't need, that's, over here, you'd be paying hundreds of dollars a month for that type of service.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you do the research, you'll find these people charge, $100 an hour to $500 an hour, whatever the case may be. And with us, you're getting unlimited access. If you want to talk to somebody for, 20, 50, 100 hours in a month, it's all included.
That's crazy. That is such a good perk. Okay, well, you touched on this one a little bit, but you're hosting through Jumpstart. You've got your NFT campaign coming out. Do you want to talk to us a bit more about the fundraising goal? What you'll be using the funds for? Explain the NFTs and the perks. And then, yeah, you kind of touched on a couple of the perks there with Task Human, which are already massive perks. But what else comes along with them?
Yeah, perfect. So our initial goal is a low cap, basically. So we set the bar low so we could actually get this thing off the ground, and that's $12,500, so about 12.5K, and that's gonna be just the minimum to kickstart the program and basically pay for the audits, the web hosting, the security, some of the development work. You guys know this stuff is expensive in the space.
Yep.
So that's just to get the project started. And with that, so if we just leave it there and that's all we hit, then the three different tiers we have, people will basically get, it's essentially kind of like a venture capital crowdfunding. So the tier 1 will receive 5% of the crowdfunding revenue for the first 12 months. So on the platform itself, we have a separate wallet where 10% of all of the revenue generated from the platform will go to this wallet, and that's the crowdfunding wallet. So this tier 1 will receive 5% of that tier 1, of that revenue wallet for 12 months. And tier 2 receives 15% for 18 months, and tier 3 is 30% for 24 months. So this is the kind of bare minimum, kind of trying to pay back for the people that are supporting the project that we can offer. And there's some other stuff that we're adding in, such as bonus points for each tier. So we're using points as part of the degen mentality that people want to use in regards to lucky draws. So like I mentioned before, we need to capture feedback on the platform. So we're going to actually reward people with points for positive feedback, positive behaviors, such as giving us feedback or purchasing the actual meal plans or referring people. So all of these points will be used in a drawing system where you'll decide if you want to use X amount of points for either the daily, the weekly, the monthly draw, or whatever. So a little bit of gamification there so that the points are actually worth something, but that is coming from the revenue. So there's no token sales or anything like that. And then they will also receive a bonus allocation for the governance token. So eventually we will move to a governance model, but we're going to be doing it similar to how ENS did for the Ethereum domain names. So instead of having a token that just mints and inflates, it'll be a limited supply, fixed supply based off of, again, the behavior we're going to be evaluating. So we'll be using AI to basically give us some ideas and tokenomics on the people using the platform, the use cases, how much, all that stuff, so we can have kind of a fixed asset that will be able to support the platform and add additional utility in the future for development, as well as part of the revenue share when we move away from the development stage.
Nice. So that isn't all the perks. I just managed to get the Jumpstart up now. You have a few more perks as well, don't you? You have a sort of Discord, Telegram access. You obviously get the NFTs, you get a 5% bonus allocation, points. Man, there is a lot.
I didn't want to cover them all.
No, it's good though. It's because it just shows you how much you believe in the project, having these perks. So you know, and it's good that people have to come in here. They have to do a little bit of research as well to see, you know, what tier they would actually like. But would you just want to quickly talk about the prices of these NFTs?
Oh yeah, sure. Forgot about that. That makes a lot of sense. So tier 1 is $100. Tier 2 is $500, and tier 3 is $2,500. So in regards to that big perk, the task human side, that, like I said, we added that afterwards, so that will not affect the project. It will be included in the roadmap around month 6 to 12 as a top up, as a separate NFT offer. But if we get 50% funding or 100% funding, then the people purchasing this NFT immediately for the crowdfunding will basically get that early access. And that's kind of where the Discord and all this stuff comes in, because we'll be adding the exercise to earn application side of it and testing that out inside the Discord. So adding a lot of utility to these NFTs from the jump, but that's going to depend on whether or not we reach those higher tiers of sales, because we didn't want to pin the entire project on that, because the MVP I mentioned doesn't require nearly as much capital to get started.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Just before we do that though, if anyone does want to go check out the campaign, you can actually see the campaign on sidekick.finance/jumpstart, and you can see the drip coach there. You are launching on Binance as well, aren't you?
Yes, that is correct.
Binance. So moving on to the next question. How do you ensure the security and privacy of your users' data? Moving on.
Yep. Good question as well. So we definitely take privacy and security of the data serious. So we're using, of course, the latest encryption data protection measures that you have on smart contracts. And of course, we'll be looking into audits as well on that. And then in regards to the data that's being shared, the users will actually have full control over that data, be able to delete it at any time. So it's not going to be shared externally to any other sources. There'll be a privacy policy and security policy on the website to read, but we do understand that some people will be sharing some personal stuff, such as, maybe height, weight, maybe some medical stuff or whatever that they definitely don't want shared. But it's all up to them what amount they want to share with the AI. And either way, they will decide if they want that deleted or whatnot. And then the storage itself will be hosted on industry standard hosting models such as Amazon or Google hosting app and stuff like that. So they use the latest up-to-date security practices there, and we'll be basically copying their security policies and sharing that with the community.
That's good. Yeah, because that's a really important question, I find, especially with people's personal data. It's really good to just know that it's protected. But yeah, okay. So answer all the questions. Last question I've got for you is, if investors are interested, what are the days you are going live and the closing dates? What is your soft cap? All the juicy details of what we need to get for this project to go live. How do we move it forward?
Perfect. So yeah, if you want to participate in this, it will kick off on Tuesday, March 21st at 4 p.m. UTC. Don't know what that is in local time zones, but that's UTC time. So basically a couple days from now, and then you just go straight over to sidekick.finance and then /campaigns, I believe, and look for hours change 360. You'll see it there. And then once you are on that site and it's live, you'll basically be able to select any of the tiers. You can purchase multiple NFTs. There are limitations on each tier per wallet. I don't remember exactly what those are now, but essentially just didn't want to have one person minting everything out, from one tier to one wallet.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like that. So there are limitations that way. And if you want to get in touch with me or follow me or any of that stuff or get more questions answered, I'm over at YouTube, the @DripCoach, and on Twitter and Telegram @DripCoach360. So just add the 360 to the end of it. You'll find me on all those. And what was your other question? Oh yeah, the soft cap we mentioned before is 12,500, and the 50% and 100% is I think the numbers are right at 100K and 200K for full mint out.
Wow. Well, that's the whole project. I'm actually, after hearing you talk about this project, I'm actually considering buying one. I think.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it.
That's nice. It's good.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to kind of really touch on just real quick is that, I want people that are interested in the actual utility of it. So as I mentioned before, we don't have any tokens that we're selling, and we're selling actual utility out the gate, right? So people that want the NFT and are interested in watching this project grow and don't mind waiting 12 months, 18 months, 24 months on the revenue share, and are looking to utilize that task human interaction and get that, like you mentioned, it's a couple $100 where you are to get coaching. Those are the types of people we want to get invested into this because they see the long-term vision and utility of the project. So it's definitely not for the degens, not trying to single them out, but I don't adopt that moniker anymore. So I want to focus on real utility, and I want people that are that I identify with that to, of course, support the platform, or even at a minimum, if you are looking for degen stuff and you don't want this, then at least share this with someone else that you think might be interested in the utility side of the platform.
Yeah, well, like you're saying, for that partnership with Task Human, $500 for an NFT, that's what 5-6 hours of someone's time.
Yeah.
Just personal training. So the actual value of these NFTs that you're getting back is insane.
Yeah, my thought
just with that one perk.
And I believe probably when we kick this off with the actual part of the roadmap that includes the task human integration, so it is coming regardless, but it's going to be, like I say, about 6 to 12 months. So chances are the NFTs for that level of service will definitely be more expensive when we get there. So if you're buying these, you're getting that 1 3-6 month or 3-6-12 month plus the revenue share. Whereas when we roll out just the NFT for Task Human, it's not going to come with that revenue share or any of the other perks, but it's still going to be worth it if you're into personal development, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of money in this game, especially with health and fitness and like the meal plans, like you were saying. Like the whole package together is just, the value that you're getting is insane. It's crazy.
Right. Awesome. Glad you think so.
Right.
Hopefully,
I do
think so as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, should we wind this up? Is there anything you'd like to finish on?
No, I think you hit all the high notes. So I appreciate the opportunity to share this with the community, and looking forward to kicking it off and just executing on the roadmap. So no matter what happens with this, I've told everybody this is my forever project. So I've been passionate and driven behind this for a number of years. Not this exact thing, but the integration of all these different things. And then again, like I said, with the mission of empowering the impoverished. So no matter what happens with this, me and the team are going to continue to build forward. Hence why we put so much effort on tying it to the drip community. I guess that's one thing I didn't touch on, is we have about 60% of the platform revenue going back to support the drip community. So I think out of all the community projects out there, we will be donating the absolute most because I believe in what the community's done for me, giving me a channel and the opportunity to share my story and kind of help coach others. So that's exactly why we're building this. And I know long term, Drip has that support and that utility that will be there as the community grows. So I just want to kind of do what I can to support that. And then I know in exchange, I'll be able to actually build out something that adds true utility and value to the community and crypto adoption as a whole.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. I love it when people start bringing, they love a project so much that they actually start bringing their own personal touches to it.
Right.
Yeah, great. This has been a great chat, and thanks for chatting with me. This was the first Twitter space I've hosted, so sorry if it's a little bit ropey, but yeah, it's been fun. I love hearing about these projects, man.
Thank you. It's definitely been fun on my side, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Do we have any questions? Tyler, do you want to put anything in? I'm having a problem accepting speakers for some reason. I think Twitter is still bugging out a little bit. But if not, we can close this up.
No, that was great stuff, and yeah, man, super excited to have the project on the platform. Health and fitness, I'm a big fan of that stuff, and like for all the reasons you mentioned, we really need, we got to put AI to use, and this is a really good use case for AI to make us healthier. So, love it. The drip thing is amazing. The fact that you said 60% of the
Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto?
Ridiculous.
How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? Forex Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I'll be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.